Welcome to another Your Partnerships Meets, and I'm here with Ben from the Value Engine. So glad to have you here with us today. I know you've not been down to the set before. First of all, what do you think of corporate media itself?
It's brilliant, isn't
Yeah.
it? Honestly, we're kind of off the A30. You didn't know anything was out there, but out there is this, and it's fab.
Hiding behind all the hedgerows.
Hiding in the hills.
So Ben, I was saying before we went on air that I knew about you before I ever met you because it's just people are just saying all the great work that you do. So those watching this that don't know you yet, there's a couple, just one or two. Tell them a little bit about how you do what you do, and because it's giving people time back is one of the things. I don't want to steal your thunder there, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them what you do.
Well, firstly, thank you, but I work with small to medium-sized businesses, normally with the founder. They normally got a couple of things in common. They're growing, but they're spinning plates, and everything is coming back to them. So we work with them to build a business which will thrive, either with them at the helm or with them not even in the business. Wow. And we do that in three ways. The first, it's clarity. So they know exactly where they're going and they know how they're going to get there. And we cook that down to a one-page simple plan which can guide them, it can guide the team, and it's not a precise plan, but it's a compass so you don't go off in the right direction. And that's great.
You said a one page.
One page.
One page. God, that makes it concise, doesn't it?
You have to get it down to one page. And what we always say to people is this will not be 100% right.
Yep.
But it will be 80%. And 100% is impossible, but 80% now is better than 100% never. But we have a challenge.
Yes.
So they have a plan, and you go back in a month's time, and they open the drawer, and it's just a light layer of dust which is built on the plan.
On that one page.
And that is because they are absolutely flat out working in the business, not on the business.
Yep.
And I'm a business owner. I get this. It's so hard. Stuff comes at you. So we have built a process to get them back 7 hours back a week. It's only a start, so they can start to work on the business. And that gets them to the point, they haven't delivered the plan, but they're starting to get back in control. And then on our bigger product, our growth supercharger, we work with them to build the team. So we make sure we know who does what and who takes accountability, the routines, annual, quarterly planning and check-ins, and the processes, the systems, so they can scale without everything coming back to them.
And do you find that there's any particular sectors that you tend to work with more than others, or sometimes I like to ask it, is there ones that you like working more?
Okay, really good question. So we work with all different types of sectors because though the sectors are different, the problem is often the same.
However, process, isn't it? Yeah.
We do a lot with B2B services, and particularly a lot in the built environment. So at the moment, we're working with a planning consultancy and environmental consultancy. We're also working with a business which designs lighting, which is friendly for bats. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, it exists and it's flying, and it's actually based here in Cornwall.
I see what you did there. It's flying.
It is flying. They're doing really well. So so a complete mix, a lot of B2B services. I always say typically 5 to 40 people.
Okay. And when someone is going to access, someone seeing this, they want to find out more. I mean, for people to access you, obviously they can go to your site, which will have all the links on here.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
But what would you say that journey looks like? So if someone new's coming to talk to you, what does it look like when you first sit down with them?
Okay, so the first thing is we understand you because you're an individual and different things make you tick. So we need to understand who you are and what makes you tick. Then we need to understand your business. What's working? What's not working, and where are the challenges? So we'll understand that and we'll look at what you need to go forward. And if it's right, then you can engage and work with this one of our products. It's an interesting point on our Growth Kickstarter, which is our strategy product. The first thing we do is before we talk about business, is we get really clear on you and we define what you want in terms of purpose, loving the work, time and money. Because we could come up with an awesome strategy, but if that strategy doesn't resonate and work here, it's no good.
I was sitting there thinking when you're saying it makes so much sense because if you, like I can think of somebody that's got an amazing thing, sort of like you're talking about the bat light is totally different. Someone else that I know that's got something they've invented. So they're really, they're scientists is what they are. But if you were to take and give them a typical business format, it's not, they're not going to follow that. It's not them.
It has to be. And one of the interesting things on our Kickstarter, we have lots of tools. So what we do is there might be a complex problem. And what we don't do is we don't come in and say, you should do that. We'll break it down and together we'll ask the questions and start to reassemble it. And I can think of one client had an absolute breakthrough. Now, I knew what they needed to do, but they named it. And because they named it, it was theirs. I didn't have to persuade them. They created it, and that worked so well.
You led them to the right answer, possibly.
Well, they're actually
you gave them the space. There we go.
They're super smart guys.
Yeah.
They were going in the right direction. We clarified it and moved it forward.
But we all do that. We all somehow know the answer, but we don't. We don't talk to ourselves enough about it. It takes somebody like you to make a step back and take that time and look at all the possibilities, and then be led into what those can look like and what they can and how they can be done. But then you have the expertise and the different processes to make them be more successful, and everything that goes with it is what I would take on that.
Yeah, no, I always say to clients I add value in 3 ways. The first way is tools and models that help you see the wood for the trees. Because if we break it down, you're like, oh yeah, we should do that. The other is a listening ear to unscramble your mind. Because we all need this. Heck, I need it. We all need it. You've got all these things going on. So one of the things we do in our long-term program is we take our clients for breakfast every 6 months.
Okay.
To talk about anything
I've seen your
they
breakfasts
want.
on social. Now it makes sense.
They are good breakfast. I'll take you for breakfast. And they always say, I really like that because number 1, you don't work for me, so I can be really open. Number 2, you're not my partner, so you're not nagging me that I haven't done that job or whatever it is. And that's hugely valuable. So that's the first way. First way is the tools and models. Second way is listening to unscramble. And the third is the right level of accountability. Now that's really interesting because I'm a bit like a gym instructor.
Okay.
Now, if I come to people, it's Friday night, the meal has just been delivered to the table, and I say, you're going to the gym, it's going to be a short conversation. It's not going to be a good conversation. If I never call them to say, you're not getting there. So we have to have this balance of moving at the pace which moves our clients forward, but also is right for them.
All right. Cool. It all makes sense. I mean, it's taking it to a personal is what you're doing, taking it to where they personally are and where they want to go, and giving them the access to those tools in the way that they will use them, rather than
100%.
just being told follow these instructions. And no,
It doesn't work that way.
But most successful entrepreneurs, they're not normal. I don't mean that in a bad way. You know exactly what I mean. I mean, because you wouldn't be a successful entrepreneur if you were a normal average person walking down the street.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't fit the same.
Completely.
We have to be a little bit, I don't want to choose my words right here. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but anyway, I know you know where I'm going with it. So that particular process of people coming to you and you learning them and everything about their business and so forth. So how long do you typically work with a client? What does it look like?
Okay, so we start off with our Kickstarter program. That takes about 6 weeks, and that gets you your strategy.
Okay.
Then if you want to get some time back, you can do our Time Builder program. Those are discrete programs. And the reason we do that is before we go into our long-term programs, we need to make sure that we're the right fit for you and you're the right fit for us.
Right.
Then we have our long-term Retain Growth Supercharger program. And typically clients spend at least 18 months of that. We've got clients that have been on that for 4 years. So you start small, and that means you can make sure that we're good and all those good things, and then we go from there. And each of those are defined programs.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming that a person could decide to stop at any point during that journey, up to them and how it works for you.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. If someone came to us and said, I want to join the long-term program straight away, we would actually say no.
Yeah.
We would say start with this. Because if we have a client who never takes any action, then we can't add that much value.
No.
So we need to make sure the fit is right.
Yeah, and it's got to be a win for you as well. I know they might be paying you, but that's not a win if it doesn't succeed, does it?
Well, it's interesting. With our long-term program, we don't glue people in with funny contractual terms.
Yeah.
We glue people in by delivering value, and they choose to stay.
That's it. We can ask for better than that. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we run out of time here, Ben, that you can think of?
I think that covers the main things. I think the thing I would just say to people watching this and things is whoever you do it with, make time to work on as well as in your business.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do that. I'd recommend getting somebody to do that with.
Yeah,
so important.
We all said work own your business, not in your. It is the most said thing, but doing it rather than talking about it, it's 2 separate things.
And that's why you need the right person to work with. And what I would say, there's a lot of good people who do things like this. all of them are different, and that represents their different personalities. So find the one which is the right fit for you, and you go, do you know what? I like this girl, I like this guy, and commit to it, and it will make a difference.
The one thing I'd add to that as well is sometimes even when you get to a point, like you said, you've had people 4 years. I'm sure some might do 2, 2.5, 3, whatever the situation is. But also, I'd say don't stop there. Always change and look for other people that can add value as well, because there's going to be different parts that, like you said, we're all different. So they might add things that are different than the way you do it, or make you rethink about it. Simple as that.
It's interesting. One of the things with our supercharger clients is sometimes they've got a challenge which we can't solve. And then we've got a great network, whether it's getting a detailed evaluation on your business, whether it's certain HR things, we bring people in.
Oh, perfect. So bring in the tools they need.
100%. We're not experts on everything.
Well, who is? I'm definitely not. Well, Ben, it's been great being with you here. So glad you could join us in the studio today. And from your partnerships meets, we really thank you for your valuable time.
Thank you, Brock. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. We'll see you soon.